everyone, my name is Jackie with Rhythm Fitness and Sweat Sessions with Jackie. Thanks again for joining me today on this instructional video. So we're going to be talking about our Get Sweaty resistance bands. So these are fabric elastic bands that are non-slip, they don't roll up, they're just amazing in general, and they add that extra intensity to your everyday exercises that you do on your daily routines, right? So I'm going to be taking you through the different exercises that we could be using with these bands. Option to use any weight to add on to any of the movements if you like. You're more than welcome to follow along with this video as well, just to see and also just work out with me. We're just going to be focusing on just doing about 10 reps at a time and going through our leg segment today. Okay, all right, you guys, let's get our water, running shoes, yoga mat if you like, and we're going to get started. Hope you guys are ready for this. Let's do it. All right, you guys, so we're going to get started with our first three exercises here. So we're going to be focusing on the different variations of squats with these bands. All right, so again, just to kind of go through the description of the bands, the light gray is the light resistance. So this is if when you're starting out and you just want to get a feel of the bands and, get used to it, or build yourself up to the next level, which is the gray resistance band, which is the medium resistance. This is what I'm going to be using for the exercises today. And then if you need a little bit more or extra spicy, using the black bands, which is our heavy duty resistance bands. Ideally, it's awesome for strength training workouts, so lower reps. And yeah, so feel free to add in any weights you want. And let's get started, you guys, all right? So I'm just gonna place these here, and I'm gonna grab the gray resistance band, and I'm gonna bring it around my thighs. So I want the band to rest around my thighs or around my quads and never on my knee joint. So please be mindful of that as well, and just make sure that it's never ever resting on that knee joint, even behind, okay? So we're gonna find ourselves hip width apart on our feet, or maybe just a little bit wider if that's where your squat stance lies, right? And you wanna just try and keep your chest lifted, and you wanna keep your core tight, and you wanna turn on those glutes, you wanna push those knees out as we squat down. So we're gonna do 10 squats here, guys. So we're gonna sit back into that squat, inhale, reaching it down, and exhale, bringing it up. Good. Pushing those knees to the outside to activate your glutes. You got it. Sitting back into your heels and bringing it down. So side profile, that imaginary chair, we're taking it back and we'll bring it up. So we never wanna sit on a chair like this, right? You wanna always make sure you're scooting back, and even if you keep your squat small, keep it small, everything else will follow, right? Inhale and exhale, reaching it down and bringing it up. We're gonna do 5 more of that, pushing those feet out and bring yourself back in. Good, stay here. Inhale, reach and out. Remember, push those knees out. Fight that resistance. If your knees are buckling in every time you come back, dial down your resistance band, okay? Or start any of these exercises with no band to get used to them, and then come back to that band if you need to, okay? Give me 2 more. And back. Good. Awesome. Give me 1 more. Good. My heart rate is already coming up. Whew. I know. That's spicy. And shake it off. So we're going to do another exercise variation of a squat, where we're going to bring ourselves into a squat hold, and we're going to open and close the knees. All right. So again, find a hip width apart on your back, on your feet here, and make sure that your weight is going to be on your heels, so your toes should be able to wiggle as we hold that squat. And then push those knees out. Activate the glutes, get the quads firing up. Okay, so let's sit it back into that chair. We're gonna open and close. So we're gonna do 9 more of these. Open and close. Stay here. Open and close. If you're finding yourself falling forward, push yourself back and close. Good. Inhale out and exhale. Good. Inhale out and exhale. So your knees are always coming back to neutral. Make sure they're not buckling in when you come back, okay? We're opening and closing. Stay with me. Inhale and exhale. Oh yeah, it's spicy, I know. You guys are doing great. You're gonna open and close. I'm feeling the back of my legs firing. I'm feeling the front of my legs firing. It's a full workout here. Good, stay here. Give me 3 more. Give me 2 more. And last one. Good. And then bring yourself back up. Shake it off, give yourself a shake. And then we're gonna go into our third squat variation with these bands, okay? So again, If you want to add weight when you're in your exercise routines, feel free to add a little bit of weight if you like, or these bands work just as well with no weight, except they have their own resistance going on. So the next one is going to be a squat to a side squat, or stepping a little wider into a wider squat. So we're going to find our regular squat stance, which is about hip width apart, okay? And then we're going to sit back into that chair, push those knees out, sit into that squat, step to the left, bring it back in, and lift. And then we're going to do the same thing. Down to a squat, step to the right, and back in. Good. We're going to do 4 more on each side here. We're going to squat, step wide, bring it in, and up. Good. And stay here. Down, you squat, you bring it in, and back. You got it. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and lift up. Good. Stay here. Step, bring it in, and back. We're going to do that 2 more times. Sit back into your chair. Good. Make sure you check in with those knees. Make sure they're not collapsing over your toes. And breathe. Good. Use that breath. Whatever you do, don't hold the breath in, right? And back and in. Give me 1 more. Yeah. Step out and back and in. Whew. And relax. So that was 10 total, 5 on each side. So feel free to do either 10 reps of each or 12 reps of each, whatever your workout is tailored to for the day. All right. So those are the different squat variations that you can do with the band. So at least some of the few that are out there. All right, you guys. So the next one that we're now going to be focusing on, we're going to be doing another 3 exercises of yet another series of legs, which will be a different variation of lunges with the bands. Okay, so grab a sip of water, and we're going to get going in a moment here. All right, you guys, so we're going to get into our next segment here where we're focusing on different variations of lunges. And I'm going to show you guys a couple that we're going to be doing. So you want to just start off with your feet about hip width apart, and we're just going to come into that hip width stance here, and we're going to take one leg back into that lunge about 90 degrees, taking it down and back up. So you just want to make sure that your chest is lifted. You turn on your glutes, you turn on your core or your abdominals, drawing that belly button towards the spine, taking yourself down and up. So with these lunges, you can always add like bicep curls. You can always add bicep curl to a shoulder press. So whatever the case may be, if you want to add more variations to your lunges, or adding that oblique twist in that lunge, right? You're just going to give me 2 more options. You can always hold it here and just bring yourself all the way up and then dropping all the way down. Check in with your knee, making sure our front knee never collapses over the toes, right? Everything is stationary, going up and down. Inhale, reaching down, or maybe stepping in. Okay, let's just try 1 more here and back. And of course, we want to make sure that we balance out the legs and do the same for the other side. So we're just going to do that again with the other leg, bringing yourself down. You can play with range of motion as well. So if you like, knee can tap to the floor, bring yourself back down and back. So you're using your glutes and your quads to really focus on coming into that lunge and out of that lunge, and grounding onto your heel, your front heel, as you push yourself up and back. This adds an extra layer to a regular exercise that we would do anytime, right? And back. So we can again add that oblique twist, reach into one side, bring it back in and up. Good. We're just going to do 2 more. Again, option to stay stationary if you like, taking yourself all the way up and down, right? Bringing yourself down and reaching up. Good. All right, you guys? So that's the first variation of lunges. So those are the reverse lunges. Feel free to take yourself into forward lunges if reverse lunges are something that don't work for you, or perhaps you just want to change it up. You can always just step forward and then use that back leg and the back glutes to really fire off to bring you back. All right, so the next variation of lunges that we're going to be doing are what we call curtsy lunges. So with a curtsy lunge, again, you're just going to start off with that hip width apart, and we're taking one leg just behind the other, bringing yourself down and up. Your hips are facing forward, right? Your chest is lifted. You're firing off the glutes. You're firing off the quads, right? And you just come right into that curtsy lunge. You can always add a curtsy lunge to a little side kick, taking it to the side, right? And you want to make sure your placement with that side kick, it's not about how high that leg goes, it's how much the side glute is firing off, right? And then just take that leg all the way to the side and back, nice and controlled movements. Or you can always add that kick back with that curtsy if you like, right? Curtsy it down and then adding a little kick back, okay? So we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side just to balance it out, coming into a curtsy and maybe stepping it in, right? Good. And making sure you're breathing. The most important thing is making sure you're breathing throughout these exercises. And curtsies are not for everyone, so be mindful of your knees. Option to add that side kick. So be mindful of your knees. If you're feeling any twitch or little discomfort on your knees or your hips, I would suggest not add going into curtsy lunges, okay? And then option to take it again into that back kick if you like. So you can take it to a side kick or a back kick to add an extra layer to the glutes firing off, right? Give me one more and back. Good. So that's the curtsy lunge variation. And there's many other exercises that you could probably add in. You can add those arms with your curtsies. You can add biceps. You can add shoulder work, front raises, shoulder presses, whatever the case may be. Okay, you guys? So now we're going to move on to the next segment. So we already kind of covered it with the side kick, adding it to the curtsy lunges. But option, you can always just do the side kicks on their own. So if you want a little bit of an extra layer, take your band just a little lower on your legs. So just around the ankles or the calves. And again, but if you want it a little easier, bring it up a little bit higher or just a little bit higher than where we originally had that band. Holding onto the side if you can, or not, and just keeping yourself grounded, mounting onto that stabilizing leg, and we're just gonna come into a nice variation of side kicks, okay? So this band might be extra tough for this particular exercise because we're now isolating the glutes and we're just coming into that side kick. Option, dial down anytime, right? Giving it small little lifts. So it's all about the small little lifts. And again, if you have weights, you can always add the weight, bicep curls, you can always add the weight, shoulder press, you can always add weight, tricep kickbacks, right? And then we're gonna move on to the side, the back kick. So back kick, same thing. Small little movements, turn on that glute. You're squeezing and you're releasing. It's a controlled movement. You're squeezing and you're releasing, okay? So we're gonna do that one more time on the other side. We're gonna take that leg to the side, find that balance, stabilize yourself, small little kicks. And you might find that one side is like, whew, why am I doing this? So listen to your body, take it as far as your body allows you, right? And then try to avoid rocking back and forth with that exercise. Try to stabilize yourself as much as you can, okay? Nice and control, reach it out and bring it nicely in. Good, and out. And we're gonna do the same thing with the back kick on that same leg, taking it back and in. Again, add upright rows if you want, right? With the weights, if you like. Good. All right, you guys? And that's the variation of side kicks for this particular if you're finding yourself wanting to isolate the glutes. So next, we're going to be isolating, bringing ourselves to the floor and getting into glute bridges. That's our next segment of this demo series here. Okay, you guys? Hey, all right, you guys. So we're going to bring ourselves to the floor here, and we're going to be focusing on different variations of glute bridges. So for this segment here, I'm just going to dial down my band just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the light gray band. So again, listen to your body. If you're finding that the light gray band still feels a little easy, you can always dial up to your gray or your black band. All right, you guys? So I'm going to bring myself into a seated position, position my band around my legs, around my thighs, okay? So you bring yourself down back here and you're just gonna lay down on your back. So bring your feet close enough towards your glutes, adjust yourself accordingly, all right? So we're gonna bring our feet about hip width apart, bring them as close as possible, lift those hips up. So maybe taking those shoulder blades, tucking them underneath, finding that position, grounding those arms down, and we're just gonna bring ourselves into a traditional glute bridge. You wanna make sure that your knees are pretty much stacked underneath. Your knees are stacked on top of your ankles, all right? And your heels are grounding onto the floor and your toes are on vacation. That relax, you can wiggle them, all right? So we're gonna push ourselves into that glute bridge and bring ourselves all the way down. Inhale, lift, and exhale. So you wanna almost have your knees basically pushing that resistance out, okay? We're gonna inhale, reach it up, option, you can hold the weight up if you like, or you can bring your weight right on your hips if you like, and bring yourself back down. You're gonna inhale, lift, and exhale. Good. And you want to make sure your gaze is towards the sky, just to protect your neck and making sure it's neutral with the spine. Good. And you're just going to give me 2 more. So that's the first variation of a glute bridge. It's a traditional glute bridge, making sure we're activating our knees and that always pushing towards the outside, activating the abductors here, okay? And then the next exercise that we're going to go to is going to be a bridge open and close. So we're going to hold the hips all the way up again, gaze towards the sky. We're going to push those knees out and bring them in. You're going to just hold it here, squeezing. Inhale, reach out and bring them in. Those glutes are going to turn on like a little light switch. Like literally, you're going to feel it. You're going to push those hips up and bring it back in. So try to make sure you're keeping your glutes nice and lifted off, your hips nice and lifted off the ground, okay? Press your hands back down and make sure you're able to still feel those ankles and make sure they haven't moved away from you, right? Inhale, reaching out and bringing it back in. Good, stay here. Give me 2 more. You can add different variations to this. You can add a chest press if you like, with that open and close, right? Working on your glutes, working on your chest. You can bring yourself into a tricep overhead extension, or also known as a skull crusher if you like, with a nice beautiful weight, keeping the elbows nice and tucked in here. All right, we're gonna push it out and in. All right, so that's the second variation of a glute bridge. So open and close, so pushing the knees out or pushing the legs out to fight that resistance of that band, okay? And then the next one that we're gonna be doing now, we're gonna bring ourselves back into that bridge or glute bridge. And this time around, the hips are gonna lift up. You're gonna find your stabilizing position here. Tuck your shoulder blades in and make sure that your core is tight. And we're gonna reach that knee in and then bring it back down, okay? Inhale, reach that knee in and bring it back down. You got it. Reach, inhale and exhale. Keeping your foot, your leg that's stabilizing, grounded onto your heel, feeling the hamstrings and the glutes firing off, right? Give me 1 more on this side, and then we're gonna just switch sides here. We're gonna do the same thing, reaching those hips up, bring that knee in and back. Good. This is like a real booty and hamstring burner right here, you guys. Inhale, reach in and out. You're just gonna give me 2 more just like that. Try to keep your hips lifted, grounding onto your heel that's on the floor here. Inhale, reach and back, okay? So this is a little bit, if you want a little bit extra, it's a little bit of an advanced movement. So listen to your body, okay? Make sure that it feels good to you. There's other variations out there that I can definitely demo, but for time purposes, maybe not today, okay? But play around with those 3 for now and stay tuned for more videos in the future where I'll be doing different variations with these bands. All right, you guys? All right, you guys, so moving on to many other variations of glute exercises here. So we're gonna bring ourselves into a tabletop position, and I'm gonna go through about 4 exercises that we could totally do without bands. And again, I'm using the light gray one for this particular routine, and listen to your body, right? So bring yourself into a tabletop position here. We're gonna bring our feet about hip width apart and our knees about hip width apart, stacked underneath the hips, right? And we just want to make sure that we keep our back flat here. Try not to sink your back down, putting pressure on your lumbar spine, or maybe lifting up, and whatever the case may be. So core is still tight and all that good stuff. All right, you guys? So we're going to bring ourselves into a leg extension. That's the first exercise. So we're going to bring our leg all the way out, extending it out. Keep your leg, your foot, your toes facing down, and we're just going to lift up and bring ourselves back down. So we're just going to do 5 on this side here. Lift up and down. So remember, neutral spine, right? Back is neutral, and the only thing that's feeling the fire right now is your glute here. We're lifting up and down, and give me 1 more. Lift up and down. So that's the leg extension, and we'll do the same thing on the other side, where we take that other leg all the way out, and we do about 5 on this side, okay? Lifting up and down. So, of course, the reps that we're using today, you guys, we're doing less reps only because this is just an instructional video. Feel free to do about 10 reps on each leg, or 12, or 15, whatever works for you, whatever your workout routine is for the day, right? Inhale, lift up and down. Give me 1 more. Lift up and down. Good. So those are the leg extension leg lifts, where we're just lifting the leg all the way up and down to get right into that glute maximus and medius, and just making sure that it's working super hard. Okay, you guys? So the next exercise that we're going to be focusing on is going to be another variation of that tabletop position glute work. So we have the rainbow leg lifts. All right, so we're going to bring ourselves back into the tabletop position here, spreading your fingers nice and wide. Take that one leg out. So we're going to bring it all the way across, to the side, and then we're going to cross it over. All right, we're going to inhale, reach out, and exhale, bring it over. So try to keep your hips square to the floor here and reach it over. Good. We're just going to do 3 more just like that in each direction. So we're working on inner thighs as well as the outer thighs here, right? As well as those glutes are working super hard. Give me 2 more. Good. And give me 1 more. Awesome. So these are the rainbow leg extension, leg lifts, and then we're just going to do the exact same thing for the other leg, okay? So again, leg is extended, we're taking it all the way out, and we're bringing it all the way across. All the way out, and you bring it all the way across. Good. All the way out, and all the way across. We're just going to do 2 more just like that. All the way out, all the way across. Give me 1 more. All the way out, all the way across. Good. And you just release. So those are the rainbow leg lifts. All right, you guys. So we have 2 more exercises that we're gonna go through. We got fire hydrants coming up next. Find yourself in a tabletop position as well for that one. Okay. So in our fire hydrants, we just want to make sure we're back in that tabletop position again, and then we're just going to keep that leg bent, and we're just going to take that leg all the way out and bringing it back in. All right, bringing it all the way out and bringing it back in. Good. And just reaching out and bringing it back in. Good. Bring it out and bring it back in. Give me 1 more just like that. Inhale, reach and exhale. And this gets into that side glute here, the glute minimus and medius. So that side glute, firing it off in that side hip. And yeah, so let's do the same thing on the other side, you guys. So fire hydrants still, fire hydrants, we're gonna bring ourselves out and back in. So you'll find that the resistance is really allowing that leg not to lift as high as you typically would with no band, right? And it just adds that extra layer to these fire hydrants. Remember your core is tight, and just remember to breathe. Good. And give me 1 more just like that. Excellent. All right. So last but not least, I'm gonna get right into the donkey kicks. And so with the donkey kicks, we're gonna bring ourselves back into a tabletop position, and we're gonna bend that leg in, and we're just gonna reach the knee in, and we're gonna reach that leg up, okay? Keeping your leg bent the whole time, and squeeze. This is so good for the bottom of the glutes here, right on the here. The ladies will probably know what I'm talking about, right? And just to tighten up and lift the glute here, right? Lifting all the way up, and exhale down. So remember, these bands are for everyone. Male, female, doesn't really matter. As long as you're looking to add that extra intensity to your workouts, this is amazing for glute activation here, okay, you guys? Give me 1 more, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, all right? We're gonna reach up, keeping your leg bent, firing off the hamstrings here as well. Inhale, reach, and back. Remember, your back is neutral here, you guys. Reach up and back, and then we're just gonna do 2 more just like that. Inhale, reach, and back, and give me 1 more. Especially if we sit a lot at our desks, these exercises are just absolutely phenomenal for that. Okay, you guys? So next, we're gonna get into our core variations with these bands to finish off this instructional video. All right, you guys? And stay tuned for the core portion, and we're gonna get right into it right away. Grab a sip of water if you like, and then let's do this. All right, you guys. So for our next, a final segment here for today, we are going to bring ourselves into some core work. So we have bicycle crunches to start off with. So option, you can have your band around your thighs for the bicycle crunches, or you can have your band around the feet. So I'm gonna do a couple where we have it around the thighs. So you're just gonna bring yourself all the way down, hands behind your head, chin away to the chin towards, away from the chest, gaze towards the sky here. And we're just gonna come into those alternating bicycle crunches here. As you extend one leg, the other leg pushes in, reaching towards your opposite elbow, right? So this is the first variation that you could do of those bicycle crunches, or you can bring the band around your feet, all right? And then this is a little bit of a higher intensity, so keeping your feet flexed, so your toes are always facing up, and we're coming back into that variation of those bicycle crunches, pushing out and bringing it in, okay? Pushing out. This is more of an advanced movement here, okay? All right, and pushing out and bringing it in, okay? So working on those obliques and allowing yourself to feel the tension on your abdominals, all right? So the next one that we're gonna be doing is oblique leg crunches, okay? So bring your band around the ankles, preferably. Option, you can have them maybe a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna go through different variations of this one as well here. So we're gonna bring ourselves onto the side, elbows stacked underneath your shoulders, okay? And then option one, have your knees bent. So we're just gonna reach that one arm out, and we're just gonna crunch in and back. This is the first option, keeping the resistance on the legs with that bend, okay? Reaching in and out. So this is option one. Option, if you're still starting out, you can always just take that one leg out, no band, and bring it in. Reaching in and bringing it out, okay? All right? So, and then for the advanced movement here, all right? So you're gonna keep your legs all the way out, keep the tension on your legs. We're gonna reach in and back. Good. We're gonna inhale, reach, and back. This gets into the abdominals and the obliques. Inhale, reach, and back. Give me two more here. Inhale, reach, and back. We're just gonna do one more, just like that. Inhale, reach, and back. This is awesome for the hip flexors as well, because you're gonna feel those quads firing off, the side hips, the glutes will probably fire off as we get into the abdominals. All right, you guys? And then we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. So just for sake of making sure we keep things balanced, I'm just gonna do 5 on the other side with the advanced movement. Feel free to use, remember, one knee, or you can use both knees, or you can just do hand to feet, keeping the tension on the band, reaching in and back. Give me 4 more. Reaching in and back. Give me 3 more. Keep that tension on the legs, right? Give me 2 more. Inhale, reach and back. Give me last one. Good. Inhale, reach and back. Awesome, you guys. Good. And release. So that's the oblique leg lifts where we use the band, keeping tension around the legs. Okay? So the next one exercise is going to be an open and close abdominal, lower abdominal exercise here. So we're going to bring ourselves all the way laying down onto the floor on our backs, and we're going to take the hands, bring them underneath the hips. I like using my hands underneath my hips because it stabilizes the lower back a little bit. It gives you a little extra support, especially if you have any lower back issues or whatever the case may be. So option one, you can keep those legs bent, maybe push the knees a little further out, and then just use that band opening and closing. Option two, you can bring the legs a little straighter out, maybe head lifted. You're gonna open and close, reaching out and in, out and in. You're gonna feel your inner thighs working and your lower abdominals working here, okay? So just give me 2 more, just like that. Inhale and exhale. Give me 1 more. Inhale and exhale. All right, so that's the open and close abdominal work or lower abdominal work here. All right, and then last but not least, we're gonna bring ourselves, again, hands can come right beside you or just underneath your hips. We're gonna bring the legs all the way out, and we're just gonna come into an alternating leg lift. So this is a good way to strengthen around the hip area here. The hip flexors are gonna fire off, which is a combination of the quads, the side glutes, and just allowing yourself to just strengthen the hip area here, okay? So, and also getting into your lower abdominal muscle. This exercise may not be for everybody, because if you're too tense on the hip flexors, this is probably not the best exercise for today for you, okay? All right, so again, keeping your head down, we're just gonna reach one leg up and bring it back in. And this is a nice exercise if you have any knee issues and you're looking for another alternative exercise for working the quads, because this gets the quads fired off as well as the abdominals, all right? Keep your back flat. If you want, you can lift that head up if you like, right? Good. Inhale, reach, and back. Making sure your back is grounded towards the floor. Or you can take those hands behind the ears, supporting the head and lifting up, alternating that leg lift, okay? So right here, you're gonna feel your quads doing the work, Your lower abdominal is going to do the work as well. And of course, if you're looking for extra and you want to hover the feet a little bit and finding a nice little resistance, you can alternate that leg lift with both legs hovering off the ground. Okay, all right, you guys. And that pretty much completes our instructional menu of exercises for our Get Sweaty brand here. So let me know if you guys have any questions, any comments. I will be doing a lot of more videos of different exercises, what you could do as a combination of exercises using these bands to give you guys more ideas on these bands. So these bands are available on our Shopify website, and I'll leave the link below as well so that you guys can purchase them for yourselves. And they come as a set of 3, as I mentioned in the beginning, set of 3 with the light, the medium, and the black. And then it comes with a little baggie that has our logo right on it as well. And I really hope you guys enjoy them. Take selfies. I encourage you to take some selfies, some videos. I want to see what you guys are doing with all these bands. I want to see the different combinations or variations that you guys have come up with these amazing bands. These bands are sure gonna get you sweaty. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and we hope to see you guys fairly soon. And stay tuned for more videos of different exercises coming your way. Thank you.